Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about obesity. So if you see, we have a lot of information floating in the internet. The number of fad diets, for losing weight, people say have high protein, have low carb diet, have ketosis, uh, have a lot of vegetables, fibers, and a lot of these fad diets, floating in the market. So what exactly is the solution? The point is, we don't understand our biology, how our body responds to various foods, right? And this is where precision nutrition comes into picture. So what is precision nutrition, right? So most of the recommendations around weight loss is calorie in, calorie out, calorie restriction, or maybe creating a calorie deficit diet, right? But we don't understand that what it matters, how each food is interacting with our biology, right, when we eat them, right? And that's where gut microbiome comes into picture. So when we talk of weight loss diet, it's more focused on macronutrients, protein, fats, carbohydrates, right? But it is not the only thing you should consider, right? So our food, if you see total food, there are around 25,000 chemicals and compounds inside them, right? Each food, maybe if you take tomato or broccoli, everyone has around 100 plus compounds, right? And how these compounds are actually metabolized by your microbiome is what matters is what makes you fat or thin, right? So consider our microbiome actually digest a lot of food we eat and convert them into various vitamins, nutrients, minerals, hormones, neurotransmitters, right? And this is what influence our weight management, right? So essentially consider our microbiome. So microbiome, we have more than 8,000 species comprising of around 40 trillion microbes, right? 25 million genes, right? And they are consider them as a chemical factory, right? So essentially a lot of food which we eat, a lot of these molecules inside the food goes into this chemical factory, and then it is the output is the byproduct, or the microbial metabolites, or the metabolism of these foods by these microbes. And it is these metabolites which actually program our biology for health or disease, right? So essentially maybe our food which is high in glucosinates may not be good for you, because you may be having a lot of bacteria which are converting sulfate inside the food into hydrogen sulfide gas, which can lead to digestive issues, right? So how does this microbiome impact obesity or weight gain, right? So there are a number of metabolites which actually produced by this microbiome, which actually uh, triggers weight gain. So one of the foremost reason is low grade chronic inflammation, right? So essentially the first, so I'm going to talk about 5 metabolites here today. So first is what we call is lipopolysaccharides production, LPS production. So a lot of, if we are eating wrong foods, a lot of saturated fat, a lot of high protein diets, so the microbes, especially some proteobacteria, they actually metabolize or ferment these foods and convert into lipopolysaccharides, and these are actually released in the bloodstream. They're released in the bloodstream, probably it triggers inflammatory responses, which leads to it stimulates the immune system and leads to adiposity or fat cell creation, which makes you gain weight, right? Second one is TMA production. So again, TMA is the byproduct of microbial fermentation of various foods high in protein, right? And then when this TMA is released in bloodstream, it goes to the liver where it converts into TMAO, right? And this TMAO leads to inflammatory response inside the body, which actually makes which actually leads to fat storage and less fat export, right? Third and the most important one is bitrate production. So bitrate is one of the beneficial metabolite released by a microbiome when they metabolize a lot of foods which are high in inulin, dietary fiber, resistant starch. But exactly, you should know whether you have those bacteria and what they are doing, right? So this bitrate is actually, it improves your satiety, right? And it reduces the inflammation inside the body, right? So a lot of foods like spinach, oats, and a lot of foods which are brown rice, a lot of food which are high in dietary fiber are actually converted into bitrate by these specific microbes, which actually strengthens your gut lining and make you feel full, right? Third is again, gut and brain talk to each other through vagus nerve. So if there are certain greedy microbes active inside your gut, right? So essentially they can actually influence the production of hormones such as ghrelin, leptin, which impacts your hunger responses. So you may end up eating more when you should not be, right? And then the last and the major part is these microbes also influence the expression of certain genes of human body, right? Human genes like GLP-1, PYY2, which impacts our satiety responses, right? So what we should focus is on understanding how these microbiome interacts with the food we eat, right? So no protein or high protein diet, or maybe ketosis, or maybe low carb is going to help until you understand how each food is being metabolized inside the body by these bugs living inside inside your gut, right? But again, there are a lot of now players coming into the market which are telling we are decoding microbial DNA, and uh, telling you the composition of microbes which can actually determine whether a food is good or bad for you. So there's a lot of gap here. So they actually assumes that if there's a pathogen may be making you disease, like causing you disease, like obesity, cardiovascular diseases, skin issues, cancer, but the point here is what we need to focus is not the composition but the activity, because the same microbes may be doing good thing in your body, maybe good thing in doing bad things in another's body, right? So essentially, we really need to understand uh, what these microbes are doing, who are active, right? And that's why, which is where we come in, right? So we at Gene Freakletics actually do not focus on composition or diversity, we focus on the functional activity of microbiome, right? So in case you are looking to lose weight, you're obese, or you, or probably you go for a typical calorie deficit and high protein diet, think again, probably you may be doing more harm to your body, right? Understand how your body responds to various foods, and decode your unique biology, and then determine which specific food or supplements are going to promote bitrate production, going to suppress LPS, going to suppress TMA, going to make your microbiome produce more of leptin, less of ghrelin, regulate GLP-1 and PAYY, right? So all these interactions you need to understand before you really go for a fat diet, right? If you